Good afternoon, everyone. I'm reporting from Eritrean-Community-Media, Juba. News headline: 5 lessons from Eritrea's self-reliance in an era of global aid cuts. Eritrea's self-reliance in an era of global aid cuts. Eritrea's self-reliance in an era of global aid cuts. Eritrea's self-reliance in an era of global aid cuts. Eritrea's self-reliance in an era of global aid cuts. Eritrea's self-reliance in an era of global aid cuts. Eritrea's self-reliance in an era of global aid cuts. Eritrea's self-reliance in an era of global aid cuts. News headline: Eritrea's 34th independence anniversary preparation. President Isaias met with General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. News in details. TRT Global News has posted a report made by Nahila Vaji, the United Nations resident and humanitarian coordinator in Eritrea, under the title 5 Lessons from Eritrea's Self-Reliance in an Era of Global Aid Cuts on its April 7th post. The report explained that Eritrea has been deliberate in ensuring that external assistance aligns with its national priorities, a position that has ensured it retains greater control over its development agenda rather than react to shifting donor priorities. In the report, it explained that the developing world is facing a serious funding challenge. While the current crisis has been triggered by deep and sudden U.S. aid cuts, thus, countries long reliant on external support are now being forced to rethink their policies. But for others, this moment presents an opportunity to consider their development pathways. Often seen as an outlier, Eritrea offers some vocative but timely lessons in self-reliance and development with limited resources. Based on the UN's partnership in the country, here are 5 takeaways from Eritrea's model that feel especially relevant right now. Number 1, set your own development agenda. Number 2, look inward, strengthen domestic resources. Number 3, investing in people first. Number 4, make development a collective effort. Number 5, think long-term, build resilience. The report finalized by saying that Eritrea's experience suggests alternative approaches to development, reinforcing that progress is fundamentally a local process as the global aid landscape is shifting and many governments are struggling to adapt to shrinking donor funds. While external support can catalyze change, sustainable development ultimately depends on the leadership of communities and national systems to define and lead their own pathway. Eritrea's 34th independence anniversary will be celebrated under the theme Our Cohesion, Our Amour, announced Ambassador Zemede Tekle, Commissioner of Culture and Sports. Speaking to the Eritrean News Agency, Ambassador Zemede stated that this year's theme is both timely and reflective of the Eritrean people's unwavering commitment to the country's core principles. He further noted that all necessary preparations are underway, both domestically and abroad, to ensure a vibrant and memorable celebration of this grand national event. President Isaias met with General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. President Isaias and General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the chairman of Sudanese Sovereign Council, held extensive talks at State House on bilateral issues, the conflict in the Sudan, as well as other regional and international issues of mutual importance. President Isaias reaffirmed that the support that the government and people of Eritrea continue to extend to the brotherly people of Sudan emanates from solid principles and moral obligations. President Isaias further urged the peoples of our region to firmly stand on the side of the Sudanese people for the achievement of an enduring peaceful solution to the conflict without the encumbrance and exacerbation of external intervention. In a brief press statement to the Eritrean news agency, General Burhan stated that his one-day working visit to Asmara was principally aimed at briefing the Eritrean leadership on recent developments of the conflict in Sudan. General Burhan also paid tribute to the sustainable and continuous support extended by the government and people of Eritrea to the people of Sudan. Dear viewers, thank you for watching us today. This is the end of the news. See you next time.
The Right Honourable David Lammy, the Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office. Nearly 2 years into Sudan's devastating war, I write with urgency and outrage on the eve of the 15th of April London Conference on Sudan. The crisis in Sudan is unfathomable in scale and horror. Over 200,000 people have been killed, 14 million displaced from their homes, and half the country is now facing starvation. Entire cities have been reduced to rubble, infrastructure has collapsed, and basic services like hospitals and schools lie in ruins. This humanitarian catastrophe is one of the worst in the world, truly a forgotten war that desperately needs your attention and action. As you yourself stated, the UK will not let Sudan be forgotten. To do so would be unforgivable. We implore you to make good on that promise with bold, principled leadership at the upcoming conference. For any peace effort to succeed, it must begin with moral clarity. We urge you to reject any false equivalence between Sudan's National Army and the Rapid Support Forces (RSF) militia. War is never clean, and the Sudanese armed forces are not blameless. But there is no comparing them to the RSF's campaign of terror. The RSF, a paramilitary force born from the notorious Janjaweed militia, has waged a deliberate war against civilians. Its fighters have systematically massacred communities in Darfur on an ethnic basis, razing villages and slaughtering ethnic Masalit and others in what United States officials have labeled an act of ethnic cleansing. They have used mass sexual violence as a weapon of war. Countless women and girls have suffered rape, gang rape, and even sexual slavery in RSF-controlled areas. They have obstructed and looted humanitarian aid, starving besieged populations by blocking relief convoys and looting food supplies. In short, the RSF's actions amount to atrocities of the highest order. Even the United States government has formally accused the RSF and its allied militias of crimes against humanity. We cannot pretend that this butchery is in any way equivalent to the conduct of those resisting it. Treating the RSF as just another party to be negotiated with, without acknowledging the scale of its crimes, would not only betray Sudan's victims but embolden the perpetrators. In that light, we, the concerned Sudanese, are dismayed and angered by the decision to invite the United Arab Emirates to the London conference as a participant without addressing its documented role in fueling this war. It is an open secret that the UAE has been a chief military backer of the RSF since the conflict began. UN sanctions monitors have described as credible the evidence that the UAE provided arms and logistical support to the RSF. The United Arab Emirates' denials ring hollow in the face of such evidence. By supplying weapons and funds that enable the RSF's campaign of terror, the United Arab Emirates has blood on its hands. It is therefore morally untenable that Britain would welcome Abu Dhabi to the table as a peace broker. How can a conference purporting to seek peace include, as an honored guest, a regime complicit in prolonging Sudan's agony? This glaring hypocrisy has not gone unnoticed. Sudan's legitimate government, which has been pointedly excluded from the talks on the grounds that it is a warring party, justifiably calls the London meeting a mere public relations stunt if the UAE's role is whitewashed. We share that concern. To genuinely help end the war, the conference must hold complicit actors accountable, not give them a platform to sanitize their image. Beyond ceasing hostilities, Sudan's people need hope for the future. We call on you to ensure the conference delivers a concrete plan for Sudan's post-war reconstruction and recovery. Emergency aid, while vital, is not enough. There must be a long-term commitment to help Sudan rebuild from the ashes of war. This means marshalling resources and international support to revive agriculture, so Sudanese families can feed themselves again. To rebuild hospitals and clinics, so the sick and injured can get care, and to reopen schools and universities, so an entire generation is not lost. Water systems, power grids, and roads, the backbone of Sudan's economy and daily life, will need investment to be repaired. Such a plan should focus especially on areas where displaced people are beginning to return, to ensure these brave families have something to return to. Whether in Darfur, Khartoum, the Nuba Mountains or elsewhere, communities that have endured unimaginable suffering must not be left to rebuild alone. A credible reconstruction roadmap, backed by real funding and timetables, would give millions of Sudanese a reason to hope that peace will bring prosperity, not just a pause in fighting. Foreign Secretary Lamy, this open letter is a plea for you and the British government to stand on the right side of history in Sudan. The London conference on 15th of April 2025 is a precious opportunity to rally the world for Sudan's salvation. We urge you to use your voice and influence to condemn the RSF's atrocities unequivocally, refuse any outcome that grants its leaders impunity, and demand accountability from those, like the UAE, who have aided and abetted the destruction of Sudan. At the same time, we ask that you champion a bold plan to help Sudan rebuild, so that peace, when it comes, is sustained by tangible improvements in people's lives. This is a moment for moral leadership. Britain must not merely remember Sudan, it must act. Failing to do so, whether through false equivalence, silence, or cynical politicking, would, to borrow your words, be utterly unforgivable. Sudan is running out of time. We, the concerned Sudanese diaspora, and friends of Sudan in the UK, appeal to you to match words with deeds and ensure that this conference refuses to indulge warlords and their patrons, and instead delivers justice and hope to Sudan's beleaguered millions. The people of Sudan have not given up, and neither must we. Dr. Salah Al-Banda, Director, Sudan Civic Foundation.
عندي